y'all, it's Rachel here with Scientifically Engineered, and I'm going to go ahead and do another swatching of some of my Birmingham Pen Co inks. These ones are going to be more like pink with, I think I got like a silver or a gray in here as well. And yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get into it. I talked a little bit about these last time, so if you're interested, you could go back and see that video that I posted before this one. But yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. This first ink is going to be Saltwater Taffy. I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but Birmingham Pens has this thing where they've got kind of like a set of basically primary inks that make up all of their other inks. So this is one of those. Oops, I got way too much on my nib. So this is one of them. This is Saltwater Taffy, and this is a very very warm, very orangey, peachy, salmon colored pink. And so Saltwater Taffy is found in a lot of the other inks that they've got on their site, just mixed with other atomic ink elements. This makes it kind of fun because if you get those atomic ink elements, you could theoretically make smaller quantities of all of their other inks. So that was Saltwater Taffy. Here's another one of their atomic elements. This one's Ladybug. And as you can probably imagine, Ladybug is red. So I don't know exactly how many of these atomic elements they have on their site. And I think as time goes on, they add more and more. But if you see that you like just a ton of the inks on their site, and you know, they come in 100 ml bottles, which is an insane amount of ink, and you're never going to use that much ink. You could look into if a lot of your inks share similar qualities, they might share these atomic elements, and you could just get maybe 4 or 5 atomic elements and then make, 15 smaller bottles of ink. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a pretty neat little thing they got going on there. The last of the pinky reds that they have for atomic elements that I have, I'm sure they have more, but this one is Tea Berry Ice Cream. I think this one, I actually haven't swatched this one before, but I think it might just be a little bit lighter than Saltwater Taffy, judging by the bottle. Yeah. Ooh, this is really pretty though. I like Birmingham Pens. I like the names that they come up with. I think they're pretty cute. Like Tea Berry Ice Cream is just a cute name for a ink. I mentioned this in the last video, but this company is based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the United States. It's 2 brothers who basically run the whole show, and I find them to be really creative. And a lot of their inks are also named after different historical elements of Pittsburgh. So yeah, Tea Berry Ice Cream really just kind of looks like a little bit of a lighter version of Saltwater Taffy. So I'm going to go ahead and move into inks that are not atomic elements. These are inks that would have been made with atomic elements. So the first one is Psychedelic Magenta. And this is going to be magenta is the perfect way to describe this color. I'm trying to mimic or find an ink that's similar to the Mont Blanc, the Beatles, I think. And I thought this might be close. I don't think it is. I think it's more red. But I haven't found an ink that really matches that very well. Sorry if I keep getting my head in the shot. Maybe I should pay attention to that. So this is Psychedelic. It's not going to fit on one page or one line. Magenta. Birmingham inks I find to be pretty cool shaders, and I think it might have to do with the way that they mix their inks, the different colors that make up their inks, but I always find that they shade pretty cool. And so after they dry, I find them, especially in large swatches like this, I find that they have pretty cool properties. The next one is Magnolia Mirage, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on the camera. This is a pink ink. ink, like a pink or a purple ink. But in person, if you catch the light right on this bottle, you can see yellow. Like this bright yellow makes up part of this ink. So, like I said, it's just, I don't know how they do it, but one of the dyes in their inks really is, it just makes the rest of them really cool. This is Psychedelic, no, goodness gracious. This is Magnolia Mirage. And it's like a gray, purple, pink. And it's really, I've never seen an ink this color. It's like Lavender Cloud Dreams. Oh, I'm just spilling it everywhere. So, so far this is my favorite out of all of them that we're swatching today. I think it's the most unique. I probably could have fit that right there, but that's okay. And I'll show you these once they've dried. This one kind of almost has the reverse effect of, I don't know if you've ever used any of the platinum, what are they called? Like the platinum black inks, the platinum citrus black, lavender black, all of those ones, where those inks start off really light and then they dry to basically black. This one is basically doing the opposite. It starts pretty dark and gray and it dries a much lighter pink / purple color. And so to contrast this with a true gray, this is Armadillo, which is the cutest name ever for an ink. I can't imagine a cuter name than Armadillo. And this is a pretty true gray, I believe, if I remember correctly. But it does have like purpley pink undertones rather than like gray or blue, which is what an armadillo looks like. So so yeah, it's a pretty cool ink too. So I'll go ahead and let these dry, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what they're all looking like after they've dried up. All right, so they've started to dry pretty far, so I'll go ahead and start showing them. As you can see, again, Saltwater Taffy is really pretty spot on for coral. It's a bright pinky orange color. Ladybug is a fairly true red. I have a hard time with reds. I feel like they're never quite vibrant. This one's like, I think it's pretty run-of-the-mill standard red, but it's like fairly dull, which probably makes it pretty good for mixing inks since it doesn't have any, you know, any extra colors behind it, any depth behind it. That probably makes it a pretty good mixing color. Tea Berry Ice Cream is just almost a lighter version of Saltwater Taffy, maybe a little bit more cool toned. Psychedelic Magenta is pretty much a true magenta. As you can see, there's some pretty fun shading going on there. I think this is a really nice color. I think a lot of people really like this magenta color, so I think it would do well. This is definitely my favorite. This is Magnolia Mirage, and as you can see, it's just like, it's pink, then it's purple, then it's gray. I would consider this a chroma shading ink, honestly. I like it a lot. And for 100 mils, and it's really not that expensive, especially if you can get it when it's on sale. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that ink. Armadillo is a pretty fun gray. It does shade. It's got pinky undertones rather than green. I think it's dark enough to be legible, but it has more depth and fun undertones, so it's not just a basic boring gray. And here are those reds next to these more yellowy colors that I did last week or last video. And then all of my mistakes, but ignore that. So yeah, I found these one right after the other. That's why these ones are still wet. But yeah, if you're interested, I'd give them a try. Again, it does take a little bit of time with shipping, but it's only 2 guys running it. I think if you're not sure which inks you might like, I would start slow. I would pick your absolute favorites and start slow, because 100 mils of ink, really, it takes me a long time to get through one of these bottles. Like, the one that I probably use the most is Saltwater Taffy. You're not gonna be able to tell from this angle, and I've only used like that much of it. So you will not run out of this ink anytime soon. My favorites that I think are most worth getting, Magnolia Mirage is the most unique. Weeping Willow I think is really beautiful. People really seem to love Tiger Lily. Every time I post Tiger Lily, people really like it. Amber Adobe sold out pretty quickly, so you might like that one. I would avoid buying Railroad Worm unless you are doing mixing. If you're mixing inks together, this is really fun to add to them. Saltwater Taffy is a good ink if you're doing mixing. And then Tiger Lily is good if you're doing mixing. And yeah, I think these are very fall vibe colors, and these are very spring vibe colors as well. You could probably figure that out on your own, but yeah, pretty fun inks, and I'm enjoying working with them. So yeah. I have a few more. I have the blue tones next, I believe. Hopefully I put these in the order that I filmed them in, but I'll be doing those ones next and posting them as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you the next time.